Hello, and welcome to today's little historic best of 3 deck tech. Our topic for today's video will be Deathtouch. This is supposed to say tribal, but I'm an idiot and can't spell. But anywho, this Kaldheim era deck is based around the Kaldheim card, Finn the Fangbearer, which is a 1 green for a 1/3 Deathtouch legendary human warrior that says when a creature you control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. And when they get 10 poison counters, they instantly lose. It does not care about... Hi, honey. Sorry for the cat. Hello. And when a person gets 10 poison counters, like it says in the rules text, they lose the game immediately. It does not care about health, or... I think the only thing it does care about that's relevant in the format is like a Platinum Angel, but that's a very corner case. Now, to facilitate this, we have a buttload of basically all, all slash the best Deathtouch creatures I could find in the format. 2 in black, 2 in green as a good split of our deck, as we are mostly mostly Golgari, but splashing blue to make it technically Sultai. Now, the Deathtouch creatures in the 1-drop slot. We have Foulmire Knight, 1 mana 1/1 Deathtouch, and can draw you a card at the cost of a life, which is more relevant than you would think. Second, 1 mana Deathtouch is the Vampire of the Dire Moon. Besides the Deathtouch, the lifelink can be relevant for buffering your life total. Third 1-drop Deathtoucher is Narnam Renegade, a 1 green 1/2 Deathtouch that, with Revolt, comes into play with 1/1 counter on it. Revolt being if something we control died this turn, basically. Granted, the Revolt is not what you play the card for, it's just a little extra at the end. And there's no better real 1-drop in green with Deathtouch. There are several variations of a 1 mana 1/1 with Deathtouch. I just happened to pick the Blightblade because I like the art. But there is a Scorpion and a Snake that are both 1 mana 1/1 Deathtouchers. Now, of course, Finn the Fangbearer himself, also having Deathtouch, does himself also apply poison counters. We also, as another 2-drop Deathtoucher, we have Shovel, Bane of Monsters, which is a black and a green for 1/3 legendary human rogue with Deathtouch. The reason why we run 3 of him is because of his little secondary ability to where if an opponent doesn't control a creature or a permanent or non-land permanent with a bounty counter on it, you can put one on it, and if something with the bounty counter dies, you gain some life and draw a card. Again, we enjoy free card draw where we can. Life gain can be fairly relevant. We run 4 Assassin's Trophy as a 4-of, just catch-all removal. We're a pretty aggressive deck, so we don't really mind them getting the land. We're trying to kill them real fast regardless. I have a single copy of Heroic Intervention main board, because with Kaldheim, I believe there are 31 or 32 sweepers in the format. We also have 2 more in the sideboard, because it's relevant. In the 2-drop slot, and one of the reasons why we splash blue for Sultai, the other is inexorable tide, but we'll get to that in a moment. Tetsuko is a 1 mana, or a 2 mana, 1 in a blue for a 1/3 human rogue with creatures you can control with power or toughness less than 1 can't be blocked, which is all of them. Even the Hooded Blightfang, which is the last little bit of the, we'll call it the Deathtouch package, for lack of a better term. Hooded Blightfang is a 2 in a red, or 2 in a black, sorry, for a 1/4 snake with Deathtouch. And whenever a creature we control with Deathtouch, again, besides Tetsuko, is basically all of them. Whenever a Deathtouch creature we control attacks, they lose 1, we gain 1. And whenever a creature with Deathtouch that we control hits a Planeswalker, it instantly kills the Planeswalker. Again, the second half of that is nice when it comes up, but is just extra. We love the Hooded Blightfang for the first 2 bits of text. The third one, just extra. We run 4 copies of Collected Company because it's basically card draw, and it can help you look deeper for, say, Finn before you attack with Finn, or can't you look for, sorry, Finns and Tetsukos before you attack so you can maybe get in and get those last poison counters. If you need to, it can also be, like every other collected company, on their instep, basically giving whatever you play haste, air quote. And the one, I guess we'll call it, hobby card here is Inexorable Tide. It came with one of the historic anthologies, and we're running a single copy here. It's 3 generic and 2 blue for enchantment. Whenever you cast any spell, proliferate. This is important because proliferate, well, as it says, of course, in the rule text that I can't really highlight without it going away, any number of permanents and or players, basically if they have a counter, you could give them another counter. And you know what the game recognizes and the rules recognize as a counter? Poison from Finn. So, after you've gotten, say, 1 or 2 little hits in, and an opponent might have anywhere from 4 to 6 Deathtouch poison counter things on them, odds are they're probably not going to let more things through. So, in the best of all possible worlds, you want to play the Inexorable Tide once your opponent already has literally a non-zero amount of poison counters. That way, even if they manage to, say, sweep all your board and you don't have heroic interventions and such to protect your board, once you have a poison counter on the field, thanks to Inexorable Tide, all of your cheap 1-mana little dirtily Deathtouchers, which do not scale terribly well, even with Finn in play into the late game, each 1-mana spell becomes a proliferate to give your opponent another poison counter, which is effectively a form of reach. You don't want any more than 1, as I have tried this deck with more than 1 copy, because it is almost always a dead card anywhere short of the late game. You only want 1, odds are you'll find it eventually. Land base. We, for the most part, try and pick some pretty fast lands. I have 2 castles for some card draw because we are a pretty low to the ground aggressive deck, so we'll need card draw and our hand will run out pretty fast. We have 4 Overgrown Tombs because we are a basic Golgari deck that splashes blue, again for the Tetsuko and the Inexorable Tide. I have 4 Zagoth Triomes, basically Sultai Triomes. So far, over the last few days or a couple days of Kaldheim being out, this number has worked out pretty well for me. There will be times, however, when it's weird and you'll run back-to-back Triomes, so you might want to test and fiddle with the number of these in your deck. Of course, if you find a different number, or even different lands in general work better, hey, that's what the comments are for. Now, for the sideboard, we're just going to go straight down the top to bottom, except with the Heroic Intervention, which we touched on earlier, with the 1 copy in the main board. It's just good sweeper and spot removal protection. There's a buttload of this in the format. Now, at the top, Swan Song. If they are like your Azorius, Ultra, Mega, Super Late Game Control, I never kill you, and my plan is to win with a Teferi Ultimate emblem kind of deck, odds are they will be running way more sweepers and spot removal than simply 3 Heroic Interventions can hope to combat. At which point, that's why you have Swan Songs in the deck. You don't really mind the 2/2 bird that you're giving them. What you're here for is just a 1-mana hard counters all of the annoying instants and sorceries like your Wrath of Gods or Doom Scars or insert name of sweeper or removal here. So that's why we have it. Again, it's just a extra kind of protection effect when you need more than your Heroic Interventions to do the job. Thoughtseize, if they are running some weird deck, it's nice to bring in game 2, or some sort of like kind of combo-y deck, or like a very good tempo deck that needs a particular card. Thoughtseizes are good to bring in games 2 and 3 to disrupt those. Grafdigger's Cages, very good, just kind of generic graveyard and library hate. This is mainly a, hey, you don't want to deal with goblins, put this bad boy in your sideboard. Again, Heroic Intervention, we've talked about it, good sweeper protection. Find finality. We really enjoy both kind of halves. The find is nice, and sometimes if you run against a lot of, again, say a lot of like removal or such, or like mill. It's really more for mill, like your Dimir Rogue decks that kind of float around sometimes. You want it for the find, to get stuff back out of the bin so you actually can not totally lose access to the cards. Finality is an okay sort of one-sided sweeper. Since you can sometimes leave, say, like a Finn alive to hit through for more poison counters and such. We have a Necromentia in here as a good bit of like combo hate for your like 9 lives decks and stuff. Though this, or 9 lives being just the deck I put it in here for. If there's any sort of weird, like, say, treasure hunt style combo decks or whatever that hinge on one card, you want a Necromentia. You can also run Unmoored Ego. At that point, it's basically look up the card, but either one you can use. It's of negligible difference. Maelstrom Pulse is a good sweeper against other aggro matchups, or weird, like, nonsense, like, tokeny generators. It's nice to be able to, for pretty cheap, take out a targeted threat that's gone way too big. And with that, that's kind of the base of the deck. And I suppose with our little deck tech out of the way, we will do our standard, say 1 to 2 games of best of 3. Also, we'll do this deck later on. This is more my personal thing. Anywho, on to Deathtouch Tribal. And I really need to change the name of that. Now, as I always say during these videos, when I'm looking for these 1 to 2 games, maybe 3 depending on how fast they go, but spoilers, historic meta is not that fast. But we just want to show what the deck is supposed to do and show it kind of working. I personally believe you can still show a deck working and doing its thing and still lose. There we go. Pardon that, the game locked up on me. Because my old warhorse of a little rig is dying. Let's see, Jingatha of the Wellspring. We'll go ahead and play first because we're in an aggro deck. You ideally in your opening hand want to find a Finn. Since if you have 4 ofs in a deck, I believe you have a 40% chance of getting it in your opening hand. So you don't mind mulliganing down to 6. Okay, I mean, that's not great, but it'll do. We'll go ahead and pull back a Blight Blade here. We'll go ahead and Triumph on 1, even though, of course, we prefer to have a 1-drop, but we want to be able to play the Finn on curve, and that's much more important. Oh, that was weird. What is a Jingatha deck doing? Okay. I don't know what your deck's doing, but you have my attention. We'll go ahead and shock this bad boy in. I'm not entirely certain on what we're up against here, which is nice. I enjoy new blood. Let's see what we draw. What? Now, if he misses a land drop, okay, we can do that. Let's see. 1 red mana. The most you can do with that is shock, seeing how you don't have snow permanents. So we'll go ahead and run the Finn. What priority is it giving you? I mean, other than that, like, 1 mana red jumpstart card that lets you bolt something if you sack something. I didn't think about Wizard's Lightning! might have lost. I guess is it Wizards? I mean, I'm down. I teased that we might have lost, but the deck can actually win without Finn, but let's not make any false claims here. Okay. We are ideally a Finn deck, but we can still eke out wins here. Oh, for God's sake. I think we'll game 2. Hi, honey. You want to come hang back out with Dad? Even though you won't, like, actually hang out? That's good. We are going to go ahead and collect a company now while he's tapped out. Or our opponent, let's not assume. And, of course, sometimes you just brick. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of brutal. But ideally, that is supposed to say get a Finn, and at least a Finn, and ideally another Death Toucher, so we could start applying more poison counters. That's the ideal circumstance. But this will be a good... So far, I think we've done a good job of showing that the deck, while it is a Finn-centered deck, again, it can kind of work out wins. What the hell are you... Okay, if you're sinking 2 into that, yeah, that's just a bad deal. We'll go ahead and play this untapped, and we'll, again, do the same thing. I mean, if they have a Spell Pierce, we hate our life regardless. We'll go ahead and just do the Hooded Blight Fang and the Shovel. You want, ideally, as big a drops as you can get off of these things. And especially since these have, you know, the highest, or had the highest health totals out of anything in the deck. So we want to try and, say, skirt some problematic removal. Yeah, I know, honey. Let's see. Now we just take, you know, wait forever to see what our opponent is going to do. That does suck. What, honey? I know. Pardon, one moment. Pardon any sort of noise. You know, cat is being a cat. We'll go ahead and Foulmire and draw here. See what we get. Not that. Yeah, I know. I want to play and I want attention, father. So until she stops this, I'll start muting the mic in between. There we go. Now she has stopped and has come to hang out with the cat dad. You want to lie down, baby girl? I believe we have damn near got this in the bag a little bit. We are not going to castle Lochthwain, seeing how potentially some good draws on our opponent's part with the Adels, which again, I've actually done a similar kind of Wizards deck. With a good draw and enough spells in a turn, our opponent can easily win this, so let's not make it easier for him. Seagate Stormcaller. I guess they have to have something good in their hands. Or even like a... I mean, maybe if you have like a Wizard's Lightning, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Second copy, 9, 10, 11. I don't know if the copied spell triggers the Adels. This took a weird turn. But good, we actually happened to get a win. I think we'll take out a Tide and maybe a Collected Company for a couple Swan Songs. Because it looks like we're only going to really need to, like, stop a one big turn from messing this up. This is a much better hand. Turn 1 Deathtouch, turn 2 Finn. This is what your ideal draw is. So we're doing a good job of showing the deck today. One moment as I make sure everything technically is still going nice and strong. There we go. Pardon about that. Now, if they have, like, a shock or something, which I would not be terribly surprised. Yeah, it's giving them priority. An opt is not a shock. If they do, however, have, like, a lightning strike turn 2, while that will suck, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. Might be a yeah, I don't think our vampire is long for this world. Oh no, it's a Wizard's Lightning. I'm a little upset that I can't do the cool flashy thing I want to do, damn it. But hey, those burn spells and creatures not headed at my face. And I actually don't know if he wants to be taking off entire turns like that. I suppose it depends on what our opponent is going to do here. We'll go ahead and attack. Maybe if he bounces the Blight Fang somehow, we can just replay it. But if he doesn't, we'll just play a Vampire and a Blight Blade here. No blue swords for Tetsuko, but Tetsuko is nice, but I think we're doing okay here. Yeah, he almost certainly has to have a removal spell here. But again, that's burn, not going to my face, so that's pretty good. Takes away some combo potential here. Let's see, if he's running a Jingatha, I guess really most is a Wizard's deck. I guess the only thing this tells me is that he's not running something like a Niv Mizzet. If nothing else. Now, if he takes the block... Wow, he doesn't take the block. I mean, we still play, you know, dudes and try and kill them. Huh. What is he doing? Love to get a blue source and then a Tetsuko and just start swinging in under the radar. Because we did attack first. I imagine he's looking for removal. A Spike Field Hazard will do it. Does he have another one? Does he attack is the bigger question. Because I don't know if he does or should or not. That's a card. I really hate having to take a turn off attacking, but I believe it is the correct play here. And we just, like, hope against all hope that he doesn't, like, start drawing a buttload of cards and filling up. Kind of like that, but I guess Chart Course isn't a buttload of cards, especially if he doesn't attack first. I'm sorry. I didn't notice the Samet sprinting there. Does he have another removal spell? Oh, now he doesn't feel scared, so he's got something in his hand, I would imagine. You know, I'll take that. You know, I'm actually gonna do this now. I mean, this doesn't win us the game, but I would imagine that Jingata is likely the biggest creature that deck plays. So I feel a little safer now to build up. Isn't that right, baby girl? If he... Okay, he needs 2 shocks. That's actually not that bad. Nice. If he's burning 2 shocks on that, he very clearly didn't have something to get rid of it that's more efficient. You don't have any blue, even though there's a buttload of blue in the deck. Kind of annoying. But I guess, what are you gonna do? What is he holding on? Because he had priority there, correct? Hey, hey, hey! Probably dies. But it's still the correct play to do it. Please give me a blue. I need a blue mana. And good, we happen to show off, you know, how poison works. One moment. Cool, everything's still working and chugging along. Did he just draw that? He had to have just drawn that. Okay, fingers crossed. We're gonna... If he has a negate or something, we hate our lives no matter what we do, seeing how we don't have a blue mana to counter it. So we're just gonna collect a company and hope. Alright. We can, and then also with Collected Company, weird points where, like, normally we wouldn't be able to cast the Tetsuko in our hand, we can actually circumvent the blue. And again, this is a booyah! Alright, if nothing else, we got one good game showing. Well, we'll do one more game as is customary. We try to make these videos, or I try to make these videos, around like 40, 45 minutes-ish long. Isn't that right, Baby Smokey? I know. Yeah. You hear me talking, and you were like, I need to get on in on that day. That sounds like attention. Now, on to the second game of their video today. Isn't that right? Oh, thank you for kisses. Thank you. Where is your sister? I imagine she's staring longingly out a window until bedtime comes, as usual. Dr. Foss. Alright, it's a weird name, but then again, so is mine. Again, oh, play first, won the die roll. Oh. Okay, normally you don't keep one land or hands, but we have 2 things to do on turn 1. And we can draw into a land pretty easily, hopefully, and play something. I'm going to keep this even though my gut instinct tells me not to. But we're going to, for science, this bad boy a little bit. With any luck, if this deck takes off in popularity, like I hope it does. Really, you only have 1 or 2 turns before... Ah, fuck me. The gig is up. Because nobody plays dirtily Deathtouch creatures that isn't playing a Finn deck. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Any land. Besides a Triumph. What is... I'm being punished. Okay, if we don't draw the land, I'm just gonna scoop the game and go to game 2. Oh, this is very bad. Better! I can do something with that. Not gonna lie, if this gets immediately killed, we're in some trouble. Yeah, he runs with Ionize! I love that card, but no one runs that card! Oh no, I think we're gonna lose. And I knew it was a bad keep. I just got greedy. He's got the game. I'm just gonna go to game 2. I think we'll actually... Instead... think we'll get rid of 2 of the Blight Blades for a couple of heroic interventions. Much for the same reason, but I think it's actually might be smarter to use the heroic interventions first, and then the swan songs are extra for the even more controlly decks, is my thought process. Okay, that's technically better. I've already spit in the face of Lady Luck once. Let's not do it again. Isn't that right, baby girl? Alright. Yeah. My little silver-haired sweetheart. Okay, I mean, it's not exactly what we're looking for, but it's something. That's a claw, baby girl. I know, you were getting settled. Isn't that right? Oh, he's sitting on a removal spell. I mean, if I just, like, slowly walk my way to Collected Company, I'll take it. But I'd be very surprised if that's how that works. I'm weirdly gonna do this. We've already had like a very flimsy opening by all accounts. I'm actually just gonna Foulmire. Because he's got removal, so I just gotta make him use it at this point. Yeah, kinda like that. Again, it seems so silly to pour all this protection into one creature, but it's my only hope. I think we weirdly just, like... I don't know if that was giving him priority or if that was my priority. But I want to wait until he, like, taps out and does something big. Kind of like that. Because if he keeps on shocking himself, I'll take it. We will play the Renegade, which might, with any luck, I'm hoping another one will, like, yeah, force that out of him. If he has another counter spell, then, like, we were Dungeon Rings to start with. That looks like another counter spell. Yeah, that's not good. But, like, weirdly... he's down to 2 cards, and, like, not much else. Okay. Oh, that's like a nut draw, actually. Yeah, that's a thing. We'll go ahead and castle in response. Honestly, yeah, if he takes the trade, I'm actually happy with that. Because he's down to 2 cards. He's damn near top decking. He's playing temples and stuff. Go ahead and Blight Blade, and then just do another castle tap, I guess. I know we're playing a little hey! Ah! I was, like, really scared about this, but I'm actually coming around on it. It's whenever any player casts an instant or sorcery, right? But whenever he draws. Okay. That's how I thought that worked. But honestly, like, this isn't that bad. Like, unless he just starts, like, you know, churning out card draw, which would suck. But we're not. Whenever a player casts, but whenever he draws a card, right? Okay, he's going for my face, and not for removals. I mean, I guess he could have it. But boy, oh boy, that's really... aggressive. I mean, if he takes a trade and I lose a Blightfang here, I'm okay with that. Like, that's actually not, like, the worst thing on the planet. I can't believe I'm going to cast an Inexorable Tide. No fucking way. Yeah, we just do it. Now, at this point, we're not able to cash these in for the poison counters like we want to be. I think we actually still attack. Yeah, if he takes the block, we're still happy. But hopefully if we draw a Finn and he happens to mount some godlike defense, you know, we can actually go over it. But we might actually just, like, hardcore... Oh my god, we hardcore won! I didn't deserve that at all. I thought it was... Alright, cool. I'm happy. I think we just keep the sideboard plan. I'm happy with this, for the most part. Game 3. Going on the draw is not actually the worst thing, because I've been saved a lot by being on the draw with, like, bad keeps. Like in Game 1 of this very best of 3. Pardon that. I have my tasty, tasty, sparkly, yum yum water. Again, not going to set the world on fire, but it's good enough to keep. Credit given. Oh, much better. If we draw a Finn, we're kicking ass. And taking names is a blur. Okay, that didn't give him priority. I mean, I'll take a Tetsuka. Or Tetsuko, as I believe that is basically Japanese. With my barely not even in 5 level understanding. I can just weeb out like the moron I am. Okay, see, that was a... This is me holding priority for some. He has shown to run... A radical idea is not a counterspell, so there's that. So I guess this is just some kind of, like, sort of is-it control. Alright, he just... I don't know if I would have just scooped, but we'll take it. And that was Deathtouch Tribal. That I'm actually going to fix the name of right now before I forget. As usual, if you like me and what I do, you can subscribe to the channel. I try and make these videos at least once a week. But with Kaldheim, I might bump that up to 2 a week. Since we no longer have Kaldheim spoilers, it might, you know, fill that slot. Actually, hang on, let me... And if you like the video, you can, in particular, go ahead and like the video. And if you have sort of any constructive and nice and, you know, polite criticisms of the deck, please leave them in the comment below. I will do all in my power to respond in a timely manner. But this is Deathtouch Tribal. This is my, right now, kind of my baby. Our next video, I'm mulling around a couple ideas. Or I have 2 ideas really of what I want to try for our next decks, but I won't speak too much out of turn and spoil what might or might not come. So again, thank you all for watching. Like, sub, comment, all that YouTube stuff, and have a great day.